I feel like that's becoming a habit, but the water was sitting there and it looked so delicious. What's today? Today is Wednesday. It's Wednesday. These days are moving. It's almost as if like we're at we're moving towards year end and hyper speed is crazy. It's crazy. But I'm grateful. Very grateful. Anyway, I was waiting for mom, but she was dilly dallying and she went to take a shower. And then I screamed out, "We're going live!" Like I always do. And then I laughed to myself because it just sounds so ridiculous. Um, grateful for my mom. I'm so grateful for my mom. Anyway, it is Wednesday, and I would like to welcome you back to Antonia's Blissful Corner. If this is your first time here, kindly consider subscribing. I am on my journey. So I'm actually working on this. It was 25 days, but it was supposed to be 50 days. So I did 25 days and I'm carrying on to 50 days. And this is day 43, maybe? It's either 42 or 43. This is your quiet space for reflection, growth, and peace. Before we get going, I'm going to ask, I do this every day, ask you to kindly get a copy of my book, Unlocking the Introvert, a pocket guide to understanding and interacting with introverts. It's a nice little pocket size book. Actually, and it's good for it's good for a gift. And now that the holidays are upon us, it makes a great stocking stuffer. You can get two, one for you and one for your bestie who needs to learn more about your introverted ways. Anyway, if this is if you're returning, welcome back. I'm hoping that you are enjoying this journey with me because I'm sure having a ball. This is allowing me to grow in ways that I never thought possible, and I'm very grateful. So today, and it's what I'm realizing. I mean, I knew from before that um, we create content every day, like every morning when we wake up. Praise God, um, we we are creating content, and I'm being more mindful of it because it gives me ideas on my messages. And today's was inspired is not was is inspired by a conversation that I was having a conversation that I was having with someone in the office today. She is a little older than I am, and she's also introverted, deeply introverted. And it's so funny when I meet other introverts and we start to basically compare notes and we start to realize the same things that we like and dislike about people. You see how I'm rocking about about people and um just stuff. So I remember I'll never forget the first time, I think it was sometime last year, that we were talking about something and I mentioned being an introvert. I think people look at me and they don't see introvert. And when I'm in the office and I say that, people are like, and I'm like, and I have to go through the whole, giving them a few little examples that they can relate to, from their experience in life. Anyway, we were having this conversation, and I suggested that she did something, and she was like, "No, I don't want to do that." Um, and then, and this is for an event that we're planning in the office, and I said, "Okay." But then she proceeded to basically explain why. And I had to stop her in her tracks. And I was like, you owe no one no explanation. And the crazy thing is, as she was saying it, I saw myself because that used to once be me. I used to always feel the need to explain why, how, and everything, right? And now that I have grown and evolved, I'm realizing that we always do that. Like we're always giving a reason, we're always apologizing, we're always explaining. And the reality of it is, if I don't want to do something, I don't want to do it. because then, like all the other extra stuff, what I realize now is just a waste. Because at the end of the day, if I say no, I don't want to do it because a dog ran away with a spoon, and then um little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet, and then Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother wasn't home, and then we circle back to no, the answer still remains no. So I've learned that, I've learned that it's not necessary to over explain, because why, right? So as she was, the funny thing is, as she was basically doing the whole explanation thing, I saw how she was getting, like anxious, and I'm there just smiling because I'm looking at her like, wow, like I felt like I was looking at myself because I can relate. So I told her after she, because then she calmed down, and I told her, I said, I totally get it. Like and I said, you do not have to explain anything. You don't have to, say more than, like, just say, no, I don't want to do it. And that's it. And I was grateful for that moment, because then I was able to see myself. And then by me saying that to her, I'm hoping that this is something that she will carry with herself for future moments, right? Because I think sometimes we forget, right? Sometimes we um, are basically in that space or in that chapter where we're just not getting started, because the reality of it is, even though she's older than I am, not by much, but still, um, I think that we need to recognize that we can basically start at any age. There isn't any age requirement for starting the journey of growth, and to practice self-care, and to learn your voice, like learn to use your voice, and like learn to train people, right? So that's what this topic is about today. Um, I remember, no, yeah, I no, I cannot remember. I cannot remember when I first heard the terminology "treat people how you would like them." No, teach people. Lord have mercy. Teach people how you would like them to treat you, right? Um, because introverts are those people who we do the whole no, but dot dot dot, right? And it's almost as if like we do that because we don't want to disappoint people. We don't want to seem like we're being rude. We don't want to seem like we're just not, but like we're being difficult and not being a team player. And that's never it, right? We add we add all these extra words to make it sound polite or soft, acceptable. And at the end of the day, it's still a no. It's still a no. And I had to learn that it's perfectly fine. I'm glad I did, because it is making me, I feel better about myself. I feel better now that I'm comfortable advocating for myself, basically making my no mean no without explanation, right? Uh, the reality of it is, when other people need to say no, they say no without apologies, and sometimes there's a tone like no. But I mean, the reality is, all that over explaining does is teach people that our boundaries are negotiable, because it's like you're saying, no, I don't want to do it today because it's raining. That means you'll be okay with doing it tomorrow when it's sunny. Right? Oh gosh. So, when I was speaking to my colleague, I realized that um, I've worked on myself a lot so that I no longer feel that way. I no longer feel like I have to explain my why, right? I now know that I don't owe an explanation for my no, period, right? Um, it really showed me how I used to behave. I was the yes, even though I was exhausted. The sure, I can do it, even though I shouldn't. Person. I mean, why not? Right? Well, let me explain. And then, because then I realized that after I started to pay attention, I realized that I would give like a whole explanation. And thank God for mom, because my mama, she nice, but she ain't got no patience for certain things. And if I'm having a conversation with her and she knows that it's supposed to be like a 2 minute conversation and it's turning into 50, she'd be like, especially if she's watching her African show or playing a game, what? I'm just, she's like, you, she doesn't say that right, but I feel it. I can identify. So that's, I mean, these are reasons why I appreciate mom, because she, I think like I see myself um based on her reactions. Like about 2 or 3 years ago, I was on a telephone call and someone called me to ask me to do something for them. And I was like, okay, right. And when when we were ending the conversation, I said to the person, thank you. And mommy off in the corner, she like, when I hung up, she like, what y'all thanking them for? Basically, what are you thanking them for? And I was like, she was like, let me get this straight. They call to ask you to do something. So basically, they call you to do something for them, to do work. And you're saying thank you? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, okay, well, explain to me, why are you saying thank you? Because it makes no sense. After that day, I started to pay attention. And I feel like anytime someone called to ask me to do something and we're getting off the phone, I'm hearing that conversation, right? I'm hearing, because then I said, because I started to rationalize, like I was like, I guess I was thanking them for calling me. So, and then she would basically continue to say, so you're thanking them for giving you work. And this was when I was still saying kind of like the yes person. This is when I was phasing out of the being the yes person, but nevertheless, I was still kind of there. And for the life of me, she couldn't get it. Every so often, I fall back to bad habits, and she'll laugh and say, "Where I thank them for? Where I?" And I'll be like, but because I feel like, well, that's me being polite. You told me to be polite. But her thing is, yeah, but I didn't teach you to be foolish either, right? And so, sometimes we can learn from others either by what they say or by their behaviors or their reaction. And that's what I'm doing. I'm learning how I don't have to give this long, well, no, I've learned how I don't have to give this long, extended, well, I can't because, no, I just can't, period. Because the reality of it is, I can't because I don't want to. Sometimes if you say that, then they may say that you're mean, but whatever it is. Um, so people will teach you how to, people will treat you how you teach. So what I didn't understand back then about the whole idea of teaching someone how to treat you is that you're basically setting boundaries, right? You have to just learn how to, going back to the no, you have to learn how to make your no be no and your yes be yes. That's basically pretty much what it is, right? Um, I feel like for introverts, we are always, not always, but we always are saying yes when inside we're screaming no. We've stayed in conversations that drain our energy because we didn't want to seem abrupt. I know what happens to you too. Like sometimes I'm on the phone and I'm like, I want to go, I want to go, but how do I end the conversation without being not nice or not coming off that way? But the reality of it is time, and every minute that is lost, you can't get it back. And I'm learning how to just protect my energy by opening my mouth and saying what I need to say in the appropriate time, right? You've accepted things that didn't sit right with you because the thought of speaking up made your stomach like tighten. You start to sweat, you start to shake and do all of this here. But the truth is, silence is agreement, and over explaining is permission. So stop giving people permission to do the things that you do not want them to do. Every time you soften your no with a 5-minute explanation, you're teaching people that your boundary needs a justification. that you need permission to have limits. And let me tell you, you do not. No is a complete sentence. No, period, exclamation mark, full stop, point blank. No, I'm not available is a complete sentence. That doesn't work for me, is a complete sentence. You don't have to offer reasons. You don't have to hand out context. You don't need approval. And you certainly don't need to shrink your needs just to keep the peace. Peace is your ministry. That's a t-shirt right there. Let me write it down. Peace is your ministry. Sometimes some things come to my brain, and I be like, okay, I'll rewind. Peace is your ministry, but not at the expense of your dignity. Teaching people how to treat you isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, it's calm, it's steady. It's you honoring your own energy first so others learn to honor it too. And I remember like when it clicked about teaching people how to treat you, I was like, oh, it makes sense. Because the reality is, when you learn how to basically create these boundaries, the people who are meant to, like, so basically, the people who are for you, they'll remain. The people who aren't, like the people who don't want to respect your boundaries, the people who won't, well, your boundaries, right? I was gonna say, basically allow the teaching. um, they will just basically phase out because they're just not going to comply with whatever it is that you want to do, right? And it's fine, right? When you start setting boundaries without the essays attached, something shifts, and it's the people, right? Um, I've experienced it, and in the beginning, because it's taking time, right? It's taking time, but I do believe that people aren't meant to be in our lives forever, and sometimes God make situations a little bit uncomfortable rather, so that the decision has to be made. And now that I'm growing to love myself more unconditionally, I am learning how to choose me, right? So I'm no longer chasing. I'm no longer chasing. So I'm going to ask you, what's one boundary that you're ready to stop explaining? Drop it in the comments below because I want to hear this, right? Um, Teaching people how to treat you is something that we should all practice, right? Whether you're introvert, extrovert, ambivert, anivert, it's something that we should practice every day because I think that it's all a part of communication, right? So whether it's verbal or silent, it's us basically letting people know what is acceptable and what isn't. All the while, with me just accepting anything, there were some times when I was so uncomfortable, right? When I look back, I don't regret anything because all of those moments taught me how to basically get to this place, but it also helped me to grow into the person that I am now, and it will for you too. It's not something that you do overnight. It's something that you do over the course of time. Make one little adjustment. You don't practice saying no. Say no to one thing. It's going to feel uncomfortable at first, but trust and believe after a while, it becomes easier and easier. If the person that you're saying no to is your person, they'll accept it and they will understand. No explanations necessary. If the person isn't, then they won't accept it. They will not understand. Explanation needed. If you have to give an explanation, you can explain yourself along the way because it's not necessary. The thing is, when I look back, a lot of people who I attempted to um, apply, well, not apply, because the reality of it is whatever your boundaries are, whatever your beliefs are, that's what it is. Like it's not on a person basis. It's not, okay, well, this is how I want you to treat me. It's basically, this is me, right? And therefore, like the persons that are for you, they will honor those whatever your requirements are. The ones who don't will basically leave. But I feel as if like those people who leave, they have their boundaries also, right? So it's almost as if like you go to the store to buy something, and if it's not the right thing, then you basically move on, and it's fine. The saying says that um, we're supposed to learn how to just like let things go, and if it returns to you, then it was yours. If not, then c'est la vie. But I tell you that I'm enjoying this chapter of my life. I am, because I'm seeing how much growth I've basically done in the past couple of years, actually. And I'm seeing how beautiful I am. Like today, I was walking around, I had on a brown pantsuit, and my hair big like this, and and my leopard skin shoes, and I was just looking fly today. When I went outside, I had on a brown leather coat, and somebody said, "Wow, you're giving Harlem 70s vibe." And I was like, "Yeah, I am, aren't I?" Right? Because I really felt good. Because I feel like when you look good, you feel good. But I feel good and I look good, and I know I'm great, right? Because God made us all to be great. But anyway, I digress. If this message spoke to you, please share it with someone who needs the reminder. Remember, peace isn't a place, it's a choice. And also remember, if you have not picked up my book as yet, Unlocking the Introvert, a pocket guide to understanding and interacting with introverts, it is available at societyofintroverts.com, Amazon, and everywhere books are sold online. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey, whether you are in the chats or whether you are watching the replay. I am grateful for you for coming along with me. Coming along with me. Yes, I said right. For coming along with me on this journey. I am grateful for you, and I hope that something in this message resonates with you as you go on your journey. Take care.